Okay, so to explain this part, I'll touch on it briefly. So what's going on here is I have a video clip here. That's my intro animation that I made in After Effects. It's very simple. It's just the image of this dude who's supposed to be me and some color bars behind him. And as the animation is just a brief video clip where he slides across and stops there. That does not contain any of this text. This text is separate from that. So we have this video banner image. Let's see. If I hide these two top video tracks, you can see that this image is just the title and these two lines of text. The third line, the reason being, the reason it's set up this way, I made this image in Photoshop at the proper 1920 by 1080 resolution because this text is always on the screen in the exact same place. And I could have just typed it out into the video directly, as I did with this other text I'll show in a moment, but I just found this easier. So I made an image, imported it, and now this image, because I use the same intro in every video, this stays the same basically. So this jingle is always there. This clip of the intro animation with the character is always there, and this image containing most of the text is always there. But then I do have to update the text at the very bottom with each video, depending on the subject of the video. In this case, you can see here it has the old text from the Commodore 64 video I made, so I'm going to update that. Pardon me. This part, let's see, we want to go into text edit mode. You can see here in the top of the viewer, there's a text icon, T for shortcut. I'm just going to go ahead and edit this text. So let's see. So Simpsons games on the ZX Spectrum. And the way I create that shadow effect is I just have the same text twice layered on top of itself. So I have to edit the text twice. So ZX Spectrum, and there you go. And maybe there's a better way to do the shadowing. I don't know. But this is how I've chosen to do it. And there you are. So yeah, so the only element of this intro is the text at the very bottom that has to update each time. And I chose to do that by just applying one line of text to these two top video tracks here. And that's the intro. So now the next step is to start to import some of my audio, because the audio kind of dictates what I'll be showing on the screen. So, for example, here we have all my voiceover clips. I'm going to bring over the first one. Let's just drop it into this first audio 1 track. And the position depends entirely on, on the individual. What I like to do is leave a bit of space after the song and the jingle ends, just to kind of sit on the title screen, and then from there it goes into the first audio. So let's see how that plays out. One more time.
While the C64 was all the rage in the USA.
That spacing is a little too far out. Let's bring the voice in a little closer. Let's try it there. Let's see how.
While the C64 was all.
So that works. Okay. One thing I noticed too is the audio for my voice is very loud. I think I want to adjust that. Let me listen to it again.
While the C64.
Yeah, see, that's during the audio editing phase, sometimes the bass boost or treble boost can really jack up the voice a bit too far. And now I'm just going to tweak it here. Let's go down to say, and that's what I'm doing now is I'm grabbing this line in the middle of the audio clip to adjust the volume. I'm going to lower it down to -4 dB and give it one more listen.
While the C64 was all the rage in the USA.
And that's good enough. I don't want to lower it too much beyond the jingle. The jingle is kind of my baseline, and the voice should stay within the range. So I think that's fine. I'll live with it. Plus, I think my volume on my machine might be just too jacked up anyway. So that's good. All right, so I have the audio. What did I say? I already forgot. Let's see.
While the C64 was all the rage in the USA,
All right, so the first thing I talk about is the C64. I just happen to already have a image of the Commodore 64 right there. So I'm going to get rid of this first image. Here you can see you have multiple. I can have multiple tracks. The top three tracks are just that text from the beginning. This video one track is kind of my main track. It's where I'll be keeping a lot of the um, video clips I drop in. Actually, I'll take that back. That's not true. Video six is where I'll be dropping all my main clips. But yeah, so video six is where I'm going to make my adjustments. So I'm going to delete that, just press the delete button, and I'm going to drag this image over. And another element I have here that you'll see is this white BG. That's straight up just an image of a white background at 1920 by 1080 resolution. And again, maybe there's a way to adjust that in the video editor. I haven't looked it up. I just found this easier. So anytime I need a particular color backdrop or any kind of image in the backdrop, this white BG helps with that. So, and you'll find yourself doing this a lot, or at least I do, where I just constantly reset and replay. I make an adjustment and I play it again, and because you need to know, if what you're doing is having the effect you want, so you're going to have to constantly replay, pause, make an adjustment, replay, etc. So I'm going to replay this and see how it feels.
while the C64 was all the rage in the USA,
And that looks pretty good. Oh, but now I need to bring in my audio. And that's another way I kind of track my progress through the video is I don't bring in all the voice clips at once. I bring them in sequentially, which is why I number them. And then I just kind of, I guess I just kind of react to each one. So I listen to the voice clip, think about what element I need in the video to match the voice clip, and keep going from there. So let's see what the heck I say in this one. And now that I made this volume adjustment to this one, keep in mind I'll need to make this volume adjustment every time. So I'll have to constantly drop the volume to -4. There you go. Which might be an issue for oversensitive mice like mine. I can tweak the sensitivity actually, so that'll help me later if I have to. All right, let's see.
in the USA, a different home computer was taking the UK by storm.
A different home computer. So let's see. This Commodore 64 image, I want it to stay on screen as long as um, the first part about the Commodore 64 is up, but as soon as it transitions to this about the ZX Spectrum, I want to switch over. So let's see what I have. Yeah. Thought I had. See here, I thought I had a ZX Spectrum computer image. I might not. Let's go ahead and see about importing something. There it is. What's it called? ZX Spectrum. Did I not import that? I did not. So let's import that real quick. And there it goes. So this is the image I want to show on screen next. So you have to bring over your tracker here. Now you can see that it's kind of the image is bigger than the viewer. So you can make adjustments. So here I need to make an adjustment. I'm going to right click on the media. I'm going to transform it. And I'm going to fit this one to height. And there you go. So the height means it just constrains it to the height. The height of the image should match the height of the viewer. And that's partially, again, why I have the white background, because this image is only so wide. And if I didn't have a white background, the background would be black. So there'd be black bars, which I don't want for this part. So yeah, the white background helps to kind of mitigate that issue. Now, another thing to keep in mind, like I didn't take these photos, right? I didn't take a photo of Commodore 64. I didn't take a photo of the ZX Spectrum here. So I pulled them from the internet, which can be okay in certain circumstances. In this case, This image of the ZX Spectrum I know is okay to use because I went to Wikipedia, I clicked on the ZX Spectrum article, and I clicked on the first image at the top, which is this image. And under there, it does say that it's okay to use the image as long as you attribute the source. So in this case, I need to find the source for this image, and I guess there are different approaches to this, but the way I like to do it is kind of just give credit to the creator of this image in the video itself. So you can see here, I have already created a couple of elements here. I have a black bar toward the bottom, and I've kind of adjusted the transparency. That's what I mentioned before in the controls. You can make those kinds of tweaks. You can see here the opacity. That's the element that matters here. Under controls, transform opacity. I can make that 66% opaque, and that means it's just a little bit kind of transparent. The stuff in the background would show through it, and it doesn't look too jarring as a black bar. And then above that, I have a layer for the text. The person I'll be uh, uh, I'll be giving credit to for creating that asset. In this case, I think that's text from a previous project, so I need to quickly look up the that image to make sure I'm crediting the right person. So one moment. In fact, I can show you real quick. So yeah, again, this is the article I went to. I clicked on this image, clicked on more details, and we can see here all the information about this. You can see here the creator is Bill Bertram, and here you can see the licensing for it. Creative Commons, one of the Creative Commons licenses. There are different ones. So I'm free to share, which is what I'll be doing. I'll be transmitting the work, right, my video, only if I give proper credit. So now the description is good for links and stuff to the source, but on the video itself, I'm just going to give credit to this person, Bill Bertram. So I have to go back to text edit mode, highlight this, and there you go. So now I have this image showing when I need it to, and I'm giving credit to the creator of the image because I didn't make it. There you go. And I'm going to replay this part.
While the C64 was all the rage in the USA, a different home computer was taking the UK by storm.
So one more element I'm going to choose to add here is a transition between the image of the Commodore 64 and the image of the ZX or the ZX Spectrum. I'm probably going to keep mixing that up because the Brits call it ZX, we call it ZX in the US. Let's see, so I want a dissolve and I want a cross dissolve. And that's basically just a fade. I did already, pardon me. I should have brought some water for my video recording. You can see here I already applied some dissolves to elements here in the intro. That's why you see things fade in, is I applied cross dissolves to all the text and the image here. And I also applied dissolves to the end of all these clips because I want all these things to fade out into this image of the Commodore 64. So there's already a few dissolves in there. I just added another dissolve by, again, going to Effects, Transitions, Video, Dissolve, Cross Dissolve. And I placed that dissolve. It lets you place the dissolve between clips, like I did here. You can see how it highlights the space between the two of them, or shared by the two of the clips, as green. That means it'll place the dissolve between those two elements. And that's what I did. So I'm going to play that back.
While the C64 was all the rage in the USA, a different home computer was taking the UK by storm.
All right. I just noticed this text in black bar at the bottom extend way beyond the end of this particular audio clip. So I'm just gonna you can adjust the length of any clip by grabbing the edge. You'll see a little green. I forget the curly bracket. There you go, curly brace up here. So you click and drag, and you can adjust the size to make it as long as you want or as short as you want. And in this case, I want them to be shorter than they were. So there you are.
A different home computer was taking the UK by storm.
And it fades out as needed. That's a few basic bits for getting into video editing. So this is just like the first two audio clips. I think next we'll wrap up this intro bit, and then we'll move on to some incorporating some actual footage, some gameplay capture into the video as well.